Hey Westside, welcome to our website. Hey, just want to share a few things with you, what it looks like for us to regather again as a congregation. And so we're rolling out these 3 phases, and what we're calling this is new is never normal. One of the things you see in the news is what's the new normal going to be like? And what we're saying as a body is when God does something new, it's never normal. And so in these 3 phases, we are praying that God would do something new in our midst and bring revival, maybe in a way that He's never brought it before in our congregation. Also, we know for some of you, maybe these phases are too fast and you don't feel comfortable with this. Or maybe for some of you, these phases are too slow and we should have moved sooner. We're asking for grace as a leadership, as we're also extending grace in this season where news and information changes so quickly. And so for us as a congregation, this is what the next 3 phases are going to look like for us as a church. Phase number 1 is this, our online gatherings. We have bought new technology. We have updated in order to allow our online service to stream to better capabilities. And we know that in this season, some of you might not feel comfortable even through the rest of the phases coming to the physical gathering. Phase 1 is not ever going to go away. These online gatherings are going to be there for you to accommodate you in this season. And please hear me, don't feel any guilt or any shame that maybe you feel like you're less spiritual if you don't come to the physical gathering. There's no JV or varsity when it comes to Christianity. Everybody needs grace. So phase 1 is our online gatherings. Phase 2 will begin on June 7th, what we're praying towards. And June 7th, we are going to start what we're calling micro gatherings. The physical gatherings here at the church will be at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and then 5 p.m. We are adding a 3rd service to accommodate for lesser crowds in our sanctuary here. And so upon entry, there will be sanitation stations there for you. There will be people holding doors for you. The language that we're using is a hands-free service. So there's not going to be bulletins. There's not going to be any of those things passed out through the month of June. We will also be adhering to social distancing standards. And so every other pew will be marked off here in the church, allowing for greater space. One of the things in phase 2 and through the month of June as well is there will be no kids side and no nursery in this season. We actually did an online survey and you as the people spoke and said that you didn't quite feel comfortable doing that in this season, and we agree with that decision. But one of the things we're doing for kids side is our worship services through phase 2 and through the month of June will look a little bit different. And what I mean by that is we're going to have a family style worship gathering. Our services will be condensed in time, but also at the first part of our service, we're going to have a kids side service. And so there's going to be a video that's played explaining and telling a Bible story that's incredibly interactive. Then a kids side director, myself, will pop up. We'll read a few verses together. We'll say our sticky sentence out loud, and then Pastor Tyler and the team will lead us in some song for the kids. Hey, listen, in this season, we know since we're not providing kids side, the mission doesn't change. We're still making disciples, and we want that to happen with your kids. Nursery will not be provided during phase 2 and through the month of June as well. But one of the things that we're doing as a congregation is every name of every baby that's ever been checked into the nursery here, and also expecting mothers here at Westside, those names are printed out. And you have women and men and this congregation praying for those babies in this season. So we know that for small children, there's not a lot we can do, but what we realize as a congregation, what we can do is we can pray, and we can pray for those babies. And so phase 2 will begin June 7th. 3 gatherings, 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 5 p.m. with a hands-free service. And then what we're praying towards is that phase 3 would begin. And we're looking at July 5th for phase 3 to begin. July 5th, we're going to have 1 service at 10 a.m., okay? And we will still have the pews marked off, and we will still have space here in the chapel. We will also be live streaming that. Phase 1 continues through all of these phases when it comes to the online platform. We will stream that service at 10 a.m. and then restream that service again at 5 p.m., just in case that you missed that. So July 5th, 1 service, 10 a.m. And then we're praying towards July 12th would be a full reopen, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., and then possibly, as news does change and information does change, kids' side and those type of things would possibly take place again. But here's what I'm really excited about in Phase 3. On July 26th, as a church, we are celebrating Easter. We are doing Easter in July. We were not able to gather, and if you know anything about Westside, we do Easter big because that is what it's all about when Jesus burst forth from the grave. And so on July 26th, we're going to be celebrating. We want to have a party. We want to celebrate that Jesus conquered sin, death, hell, and that the grave is empty and the throne is occupied. So this is what these 3 phases are going to look like for us as a congregation. Here on our website, you can see some gathering guidelines that will help you as a family and you as an individual with a little bit more information. But what we're praying for in this season is that God would do something new. And we know that when God does something new, that it's never normal. I think one of the saddest things that could happen for us as a church is that things would simply go back to normal. I don't want that for us. I want the Spirit to do something new in our midst, and that's what we're praying for. Hey, if you have any questions, please give the church a call, 785-1805, or you can send us an email, info@westsidepb.org. We want to get a hold of you, and we want you to be able to get a hold of us. So please don't feel disconnected in this season. Again, reach out to us. We love you, and we're planning and longing for the day in which we can gather back together. We love you, Westside. Blessings.